this is Miss Crew. This week we are going to be doing a project on biomes, and actually biome jars. This kind of follows along with last week being Earth Day on Wednesday. So, a biome, according to the information in your handout, is a group of plants and animals that have characteristics in common based on the environment and climate that they live in. So some biomes span a large area and some can be small. It just depends. There are also areas of biomes like desert, tundra, rainforest, ocean. So you're picking something that basically a habitat but a little bit more broad, okay? So it has different plants and animals, and you're going to choose one before you get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw our jar, and we're focusing on symmetry here, which means that both sides are going to match. So with your piece of paper, you can use black paper like the handout shows, or you can use white paper. That is completely up to you, whatever you have. I'm going to fold my paper in half, and so I'm only going to be drawing half of the jar. So I'm going to start, if you want like a lid or handle at the top, I'm going to go with that. You can use pencil if you'd rather use that, so you can erase if you make a mistake. Now I'm going to start the handle. You want to take up the whole paper from top to bottom, otherwise you're not going to have enough room to add all your details. Don't go all the way back into the line or you'll cut your jar into different pieces. Alright, I'm going to come back out here. Come down, and then I want a little panel at the bottom that sticks out. Okay? So that's going to be my biome jar. I took up most of the page. Now I'm going to keep the paper folded. Cut it out. There we go. Unfold it. I have the black side on here, but since the other side doesn't have that, I'm going to use this side. I'm going to go back in and add the line of my jar back down here. There we go. So now I have a symmetrical jar. Both sides are the same. They match up, which most jars are, so we want to keep it like that. And from there, you're ready to go to the handouts that are pick and draw. So you'll pick first a landscape or the land that you want, or the biome in general, but you're going to start with the land before you get to the animal. Let me look through these. What animal do I want to do? I think I want to do an ocean biome. And from there, I can add some patterns into my jar as well, but I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to start with my actual ground first. And my animal is eventually going to be cut out of a different piece of paper, so you're going to want to fill this up as much as you can. Okay, so let's see. For the ocean, obviously I'm going to need water at the top. But I want to add more details than that. So I want to fill up this whole page here. Let's put some sand down here. I'm going to put a rock over here. Here's my sand. Let's have a little coral reef over here. There we go. Little bubbles. Could put some fish in there. I like the jellyfish. Think about where you're going to be putting your animal, because if it's going to be down here or up here, you don't need to draw quite as much there because it's going to get covered up, okay? I'm going to put some little plants growing around here, kind of like some seaweed. You can definitely be drawing this in pencil and adding color later. The marker I just already had in my hand. Okay. Some more little plants in there. Okay. So look through those details and add a bunch of things to create different areas of your biome. And then I'm just going to quickly, first I'm going to put a little shine mark up there because it's glass. I could go in and add some neat patterns in here to add more interest to the jar as well. The handout has these directions as well for you to look at. Let's see. Do the same thing up here. So think about repeating the same thing at the top and the bottom to create some repetition and unity between the top and the bottom, tie them together. And from there, I would finish coloring that in. You can paint it, you can color it, whatever you have, whatever you feel like doing with these art projects, you just make it work, okay? But I do want you to keep in mind that you don't want to use the color of your animal too much in your actual landscape of your biome, because we want our animal to be the focal point. We want it to stand out the most, okay? So if you use that color over and over again, then your animal is not going to be the focal point. We want to have contrast, which means they're different from one another so that they stand out, okay? So I'm actually going to be, I think I'm going to use a shark as my animal. So that's why I went back and put some brown over my rocks, because I want my shark to be gray, and it's going to stand out better if there's no other gray or just even a little bit of gray in the background. Okay. Quickly color my water. Oh, I forgot my jellyfish. So take your time, make it neat. I don't want this video to be way too long, so I'm rushing a little bit. But enjoy it. Send me a picture when you're done, because I'd love to see it. Miss you guys. So this blue in the background will help to create contrast and make my animal the focal point, because my shark will be gray, and I'm going to put him right here, I think. And the reason we're cutting our animal out of a different piece of paper is so that will also help with the contrast, because it will overlap our background, which helps to make it show as the focal point when it's on top of some of the other parts of the background. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to use construction paper. If you do not have construction paper, just use a white piece of paper and use a white piece of paper and then draw your animal, color it, and then cut it out. Alright, so here is my shark. Let's see. Looking at the handout. So you can try to copy one of the animals Oops. From the handout, you can look the video up of how to draw a specific one if you think that would be easier for you. Put his little eye, some gills. Get skinnier at the back. And then the back fin. Okay, there we go. I'm going to make a little white area just so we have more than one color. Make it a little bit more interesting. I think I'm going to use a little bit of black crayon too, and create even a little bit of, oh, my black crayons. There we go. Some shading just to around the edge. You can skip this part if you want or add it in, up to you. I just wanted it to look a little bit more three-dimensional. Just light. A little bit of light shading here. Alright, now I'm going to cut my shark out. My dog is growling at the TV Lego. There we go. He's almost too big. So that's something to think about when you are drawing your animal. You might want to cut your paper to fit inside your jar before you start drawing so you don't accidentally make your animal too big and have to go back and fix it. There we go. Glue or staple or whatever, tape down, whatever material you have. I could add some color to my patterns at the top and the bottom as well, but I'm going to skip that step for the sake of time. Oh, that's a little bit too much glue right there. There we go. Alright, and that's a mostly finished biome. In the directions, there's an option to make a little label with some string and tie it on, or you could just draw one on. That is completely up to you. That's an optional step for you. Alright, I hope you enjoy. Send me some pictures of your finished work. I would love to see it. Alright, goodbye. Miss you.